Morning family, I am so happy to be here with you all this morning. As we know, it is family month here at All Nations Church, and today I want to talk to you for a brief moment about what your love can produce. Sometimes we take for granted how powerful love is. So this morning I want you to journey with me on a story about a woman named Ruth. Many of us, we know who Ruth is. We know about the story about her and Boaz. But today I want to talk about her and her relationship with her mother-in-law, Naomi. So I just want you to track with me. I'm going to try to tell this story in a short amount of time, so I'm going to be jumping from verse to verse. But just to give you a little backstory, Naomi had lost both of her sons. She lost her sons and her husband. So her daughter-in-laws, they didn't have husbands anymore, and she didn't have her husband and she didn't have her sons. If you could imagine what that must have been like for her, how much she was grieving. So I want to tell you what happened. She told her daughter-in-laws, just go. I'm not of value to you anymore. I can't do anything for you. In verse 8, she says to them, go back each of you to your mother's home. May the Lord show you kindness as you have shown kindness to your dead husbands and to me. May the Lord grant that each of you will find rest in the home of another husband. Then she kissed them goodbye, and they wept aloud and said to her, we will go back with your people. But what happened was, one of the daughter-in-laws, she gave in. She went back home to her own mother, to her own family. But Ruth decided that she was going to stick around, and she was going to stick by Naomi's side. Ruth says to Naomi, don't urge me to leave you or turn my back from you. Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God. Where you die, I will die, and there will be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it so severely, if even death separates you and me. When Naomi realized that Ruth was determined to go with her, she stopped urging her. Some of us, we can relate to Naomi. When we're going through hard times, when we're feeling like we're not valuable, when we're not of use to anyone, we tend to push people away instead of embracing them. Some of us don't know how to accept that love, so we just push away, And I want to challenge you this family month to not push people away in your time of need and in your time of struggling, but rather embrace the people who want to be there for you, who so desperately want to be there to comfort you. And some of us, we're like Ruth. We want to be there for our family members, but we don't know how. We're trying, but they're constantly pushing us away. I challenge you to be like Ruth and be patient with them. Stick by their side and say, I'm going to stick it out with you to the end. I'm going to be here for you. So the story goes on, and the two women, they go back to Bethlehem, and the women are saying, can this be Naomi? Can this be Naomi? And Naomi says to them, don't call me Naomi, she told them. Call me Mara, because the Almighty has made my life very bitter. I went away full, but the Lord has brought me back empty. Why call me Naomi? She goes on to say, the Lord has afflicted me, the Almighty has brought misfortune upon me. Now, the name Naomi means pleasant. It means lovely. But she's telling them, don't call me that. Don't call me Naomi. Call me Mara, because the Lord has afflicted me. He has brought this upon me. But what I love about this text is that throughout the text, we don't see Naomi referred to as Mara. The only person who referred to Naomi as Mara was Naomi. No one else called her that. They didn't name her by her dysfunction. They didn't name her by her circumstance. They didn't name her by the lies that she was telling herself in her head. But she continued to be called Naomi. And we have to be that sounding board for our friends and for our family members. And we have to call them who God has called them to be. While they are calling themselves Mara, while they are calling themselves afflicted, we have to be the ones to call them lovely. We have to be the ones to call them pleasant. We have to be the ones to call them chosen. We have to be the ones to speak life back into them. We don't name them by their dysfunction. We don't even name them by what they're naming themselves, but we call them by what God has called them. So the story goes on, and we know that Ruth, she ends up finding Boaz. She marries him. This is a great ending to a story, but I just want to skip to the end so you can see what those same women said to her and how they celebrated with her when it was all said and done. So Boaz took Ruth. She became his wife, and when he made love to her, the Lord enabled her to conceive, and she gave birth to a son. The women said to Naomi, praise be to the Lord, who this day has not left you without a guardian redeemer. May he become famous throughout Israel. He will renew your life and sustain you in your old age. For your daughter-in-law, who loves you and who is better to you than 7 sons, has given birth." Then Naomi took the child in her arms and she cared for him. The woman living there said, "Naomi has a son." And they named him Obed. He was the father of Jesse, the father of David. Isn't that crazy how Naomi thought she had lost everything? But her daughter-in-law, Ruth, she stuck by her side. She loved her through it. And not only was Naomi blessed with a grandson who was Obed, who was the father of Jesse, who was the father of David, but Ruth was blessed also for sticking by Naomi's side. She remarried. She had a son. So I never want you to degrade or take for granted the power of your love. I want to take a brief moment to read to you guys 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 4. I just want to give you God's definition of what love is and how we can apply it to our family members and our friends and our loved ones. It says, "Love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres." So I want you to take that definition. I want you to hide it in your heart. And I want you to apply it with your family, with your loved ones, with your friends. And never take for granted the power of your love. Family, I cannot wait to see you next time. I can't wait until we're back together again in the building. But in the meantime, rest up, spend time with your family, spend time with your friends, and spend time with your loved ones and love on them. I love you, family.